Welcome after ongoing Mishnayos learning. Welcome to the new Seder, as Rabbi Klein led us off yesterday with the first Mishnah in Zevachim. As we're excited as we await the big Siyum on Friday for Seder Nezikin. There is a concept of that when we learn something that we don't have, or we symbolize something that we don't have. It's actually almost like we're saying a tefillah that we say to Hashem that we want to learn these halachos, but we really want to fulfill them. We really want to actually do them, but we don't have them now. So at least we're going to learn them. So halavah, you should send Mashiach. You should rebuild the base of Mikdash. And we should have the opportunity to do that. And I think that's the godless of learning Kodshim. That although certainly Kodshim is all about the base of Mikdash, but Rabbi Yochanan ben Zakkai said Sion Ba'idrisha, that you have to sought after Eretz Yisrael and Sion and to want to rebuild Eretz Yisrael. It's something that we have to be desirous of. We have to want it. And one of the ways we want is by learning about halachos that are for the future. And Kodshim is halachos of the future and certainly of the past, gives us an understanding of the Beis HaMikdash, etc. The Perek talks about different korbanos, intentions that you have to have when you give these korbanos, etc. Now, Yossi ben Choni Omer Mishna Beis, Hanishchatem l'shem Pesach or l'shem Chatas Psulim. That if a person shechs a korban, that for the sake of the korban Pesach or for the sake of a chatas, it's invalid. In the first Mishnah, we said that if you shecht a korban for a different korban, then it could be okay. And the exception is for a chatas. A chatas is a sin offering. When do you bring a korban chatas? If a person commits an avera that Yechayev Kores. Kores means a shortened lifespan. For example, if a person eats chametz on Pesach, but he eats it unintentionally, like he didn't realize that it was chametz, and he eats it on Pesach. So the halacha is he has to, in order to do tshuva, in order to fix the avera, he has to bring what's known as the korban chatas. So korban chatas is very specific. You have to bring the korban chatas for the sake. So if a person brings a different korban and says it's a chatas, it is psulim. Shemen achi Azariah omer. Shemen achi Azariah said, Shachatan l'shem gavoa mehem sherim, l'shem nomok mehem psulim. Shimon achi Azariah has a different approach. He says it depends on what your intention is. If your intention is to take a korban and then declare it for a higher level korban, a higher level of kedusha, so then it's considered valid. But if it's for a lower level of kedusha, then it's pasul. Now, is it meketza? So, what's an example of that? Kodshei kadoshim sheshachatan l'shem kodshei kalim psulim. So we know there's two types of the korbanos that are eaten are divided into two categories: kodshei kadoshim and kodshei kalim. Kodshei kadoshim are only eaten by the kohanim, and they only are allowed to be eaten within the confines of the Beis HaMikdash. Kodshei kalim is eaten by everybody. I mean, even the person bringing the korban. So, in fact, we just passed, in the middle of the Yontif season. On Yontif, you had to bring what was known as a Shalmei Chagiga. A Shalmei Chagiga was a special korban that you had to eat on Yontif. That was eaten by everybody, but you had to stay within Yerushalayim. So Kodshei Kadoshim Sheshachatan l'shem Kodshei Kalim. So if you take, what's an example of a korban chatas that we mentioned, a korban chatas, and you say I'm making into a shlamim, so that's puzzle because you're going down. Kodshei kalim sheshachatan l'shem kodshei kadoshim. But if you say you have potentially a shlamim, and you're making it into a higher level korban like an ola, then so that's kosher. Habachor. So the you have to give the firstborn of every animal to the Kohanim. That actually belongs to the Kohen. And in fact, that's one of those things that we say that has Kedusha from inception. That once the animal is pregnant with the firstborn animal, it has Kedusha and it belongs to the Kohen. So the Kohen has to take that and shecht it on the Mizbeah and he eats it. habachor, v'hamaiser. Meiser refers to it could be the 1/10 of every animal that you had to bring to the base of Mikdash, and actually, in the case of Meiser Behema, the person himself eats it in Yerushalayim. So if you shak that l'shem shalomim sherim, because they're really equal. Because really, it's like a korban shalomim. Everybody eats, either all the kohanim eat it, or all the person eats it. So that's considered okay. U'shlamim sheshachatan l'shem bechor l'shem Meiser psulim. But if you have a shlamim and you go in the opposite way, a bechor, or for a meiser, so then it is no good. So in the case of the a bechor and meiser, if he slaughtered a bechor or meiser or for the sake of the shlamim, they remain valid because the shlamim is more holy than a bechor or meiser offering. But a shlamim sheshachatan l'shem bechor shem meiser psulim. But if he slaughtered a shlamim for the sake of a bechor or for the sake of a meiser offering, then it becomes invalid because they are less holy than the shlam. Mishna Gimel says, "HaPesach sheshachatu b'shachris b'arba'asa shelo lishma." The only way you can shecht a korban Pesach properly is if you do it on the afternoon of the 14th of Nisan, what we call Erev Pesach. If it's not any other time, it's not korban Pesach. Now, so a person says, "I'm declaring a korban Pesach middle of the year," so we say it's a shlamim. But a person shechs a korban Pesach on the morning of the 14th, which is not the right time. Rabbi Shua Omer machshir gila nishchat b'shlosha asar. So it's no different than if you declare it at any other time, and it becomes a korban shlamim. Ben Beseira posel gila nishchat ben arba'im. Ben Beseira says because it's Erev Pesach and you shechted it at the wrong time, and you it's as if you slaughtered it for the sake of a different korban, and then it's puzzle. Amar Shimon ben Azai said Shimon ben Azai, Mekabel ani mipei shiva mushnayim zakim. I received a tradition from 72 sages of the Sanhedrin. B'yom sheishivu Rabbi Elazar ben Azariah b'yeshiva. On the day that they made Rabbi Elazar ben Azariah the Nasi. Remember the story in the Haggadah where he said, when Rabbi Elazar ben Azariah said, "Arei ani keven shivim shana," I'm like a man who's 70 years old, because when he was appointed to be the head of the Sanhedrin, he was a very young man, and his wife said that they're not going to respect you because you look like a kid. So miraculously, he grew 70 white hairs, and he said, "Arei ani keven shivim shana." So one of the halachas he learned was a source for mentioning Yitzias Mitzrayim and 9. That's what we say in the Haggadah. But here he says, on that day there were other halachas that was taught, and one of the other halachas that were taught is shekol hazevachim ne'echolim, all the korbanos that have parts that are eaten, meaning korbanos that we eat, shenizbechu shelo lishman, that were shechted not for their own sake but for the sake of a different korban. But if that korban was fulfillment of a neder, a person makes a neder to give a shlamim, right? And now when you give that korban, you have intention of a different korban. So we said the korban is valid, but you don't fulfill your obligation. You would have to bring another korban in its place. Except if you shech a Pesach or a Chatas, then that korban is completely invalid, as we said in the first Mishnah. So what is Ben Azai coming to add? He's coming to add an ola. That if you list the korbanos to become completely invalidated by slaughter for the sake of an ola, it's also no good. And the Chachamim did not agree to him. So Ben Azai said added only the ola to the Tanakhama's list of korbanos to become completely invalid. So if you haven't if you have an ola and you shecht it for the sake of something else, it's invalid. But Chacham did not agree, and they only keep it to a chatas and a pesach. Okay, those are Mishnayos for today. I apologize, a little bit lengthy. But these Mishnayos require a lot of details and a lot of understanding. Mitzvah Hashem, I'll see you along the way. Have a great day.